I'm speaking with Patsy O'Keeffe here, one of the chief coordinators here of this very special weekend here in Dromtariffe and Dromach, and what a hugely successful event it is. Patsy, having been heard on national radio this morning, this should be absolutely no trouble to you at all. So just to give us an insight, first of all, on how the whole concept began.
Really, the whole concept was really around Patsy O'Keeffe. He was the one that really started the seed of this, and he got on to Morris England, who is a member of the local Heritage Council, and then Joe and Morris came together and they started approaching people around the community, and people that had an interest in local history, they were able to pick out the different people that knew. So we came together anyway as a committee one night, and we heard Danjo talking about the gathering 25 years ago that he had himself orchestrated with other members of the community. And you know what? We listened to him and we said, this is doable. We could do this. But we realised that there was a lot going to be involved. But we never thought that was going to take off onto something like what we have here this weekend, because we had envisaged a day.
Yes.
A day. And then, but once we kind of came together, we said, right, we will run tours. That was the seed of it, and we'll do a bit of genealogy, and that was the local history and the genealogy being covered. But then, as tourists started booking, as we were getting the word out, tourists started contacting, and it was an American tourist that first asked, could we do an article on the O'Keeffe Cashman? Could we get someone to come in and talk to us about it? So that's then we decided we'll zone in on this area that it seemed to have an interest out there, and we put out word to see could we get someone to come and talk to us, and that's where Lorna Maloney came in to focus for the O'Keeffe Cashman.
And will be here on Sunday.
She'll be here tomorrow. She will be
yes.
at 2 o'clock.
And speaking about tracing roots, we can even see actually happening over here. Just to explain what is happening over at that particular table there.
This is Catherine Cullity. She's a local genealogist. She has a huge interest in genealogy. Her big focus is for people to come to her, and she will actually show them how to gain information and gain access to the records that are online in the various offices, official offices, because it can be done by the people themselves if they take time. They don't have to employ genealogists and pay them. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, but Patsy, this guidance is wonderful this weekend here.
Oh, it is.
And Catherine is so very accommodating and very, very helpful.
She is, and she is one of these people that has all the information, and she will show you how to access the websites, where the good websites are, and the ones that focus in, the offices. And she herself has done many genealogy courses, and she knows a lot of the graveyard inscription sites where they are recorded, and you can go to her. Catherine is great. She's a local woman from Newmarket, and she will actually try her best to guide you in the right direction. If she can at all, she will.
In fact, Catherine also is promoting a very, very special book that has just been...
she is.
Yes, very much promoted by the library services.
It is. It's Walking the Steps of Your Ancestors, and Catherine is promoting that booklet. It's a new booklet out, and it has all the information on it for any individual to walk in off the street. They can get it from the local or the city library, and it will guide you in the right direction of how to gain and access the information yourself. If you take the time, you can do it. Anyone can.
Patsy, you speak from the heart, and clearly you have been inspired in the whole world of local history from an early age.
From an early age, we have. My own mother herself, she used to guide us and tell us stories about the local area and what the tunnels under the ground, what they meant, the Fullock Fields, what they meant. And then on top of that, we had a new headmaster come to our school in Dromahan National School, John J. O'Kavanagh. And in fairness to John J. O'Kavanagh, he actually instilled local history as being a very important area of our lives. He used to take time out in the class every day to talk about different areas of local history, like Thomas Russell came from Dromahane, the man from God knows where. We have Holy Wells in the village. We have a lot of history and forts, fairy forts, attached to the area. And he was able to gather this into us and show us where they are, because we didn't know, other than
Tremendous.
our own families, where these were.
But you know, you're inspiring so many others, and clearly you're a major ambassador for Dromahane, not only for Dromahane, but for Duhallow
in general.
and the overall. As I say, you should be perhaps a future ambassador in America there, because. But
I don't know about that.
But Patsy, just this weekend, there's great enthusiasm from a whole range of people coming from far and wide.
And when we first set out to organise this, we were going locally first, but then we realised we needed to go international, because it was people from abroad that were contacting us. We started contacting people then in the media in America, the Irish centres in various countries in America, Australia, over to Europe, onto Singapore. There's Irish people in all these countries.
Tremendous.
And they were actually encouraging us then through the media to keep going and keep contacting. And we use Facebook as well. But that wouldn't have been the only one. Email and Irish centres, Irish papers, media in other countries that carry the Irish news to the foreign countries. A great advantage to us.
But the big, and this is a point that came across on national radio this morning, the difference between the contacts being made 25 years ago and today, so different.
Oh, it is so different, because then they had to go away and pull out the phone books. And one by one, they had to write those letters, handwritten letters, and they had to go and stamp and address each one of those envelopes. Whereas today, we did very little of that, if any at all. It was mainly down to the email, Facebook, social media, and contacting the media itself, the press media, and it was great. We had all those advantages.
Absolutely.
We had the national radio this morning. We had the national newspapers during the last few weeks, which was absolutely
and of course,
fantastic
all the various websites, and your own website.
And our own website has a huge amount has generated as well a huge amount of interest, because it has a load of history associated with the Duhallow and O'Keeffe's.
It's great to be able to say to someone, to find out more, go to our website.
Oh, definitely, O'Keeffe'sClans.com. It has a huge wealth of information.
So what has happened this weekend is so encouraging that you'd certainly feel this is something that should occur on a much more frequent basis.
Oh, definitely, because we see out there that there is a huge interest in sourcing our roots. And the genealogy, the history is an added advantage, because the area is so rich. But, you know, we kind of reckon that it will be every 4 years that we will be actually running this gathering, because the interest is there to do this, not to leave it go like 25 years again.
Oh no, and I know that the feedback that's going to be engendered by this particular weekend here will be very, very positive, and people will say, we'll have to be there in 4 years. A bit like the Olympics. We have to wait 4 years.
You will have to wait 4 years. But you know, in saying that, it's the first time out that's going to be the hardest. But because of this weekend has been so successful and nearly a sellout, and all our tours are sellout, our banquet is a sellout, we can see that. So it's going to be easier for us to organise the next gathering in 4 years' time.
Tremendous altogether.
Absolutely, tremendous help.
Well,
to us.
Patsy, I must say, you must take a huge bow, and I know you're preparing for the banquet tonight.
Yes,
I see
indeed.
you're checking out the different tickets, and you also have Colin Pipe Band appearing before.
Welcoming the people into the hotel as they'll arrive to the venue, and we'll have Ciol Tori, Slieve Lucra coming to join us after our meal to entertain us as well during the night. But you know, there's a huge amount of people out there that sometimes get hidden behind the scenes, and people don't realise that they are the ones that help put this together.
Yes.
It's the bank of volunteers,
Yeah, and
the
there's a
local
huge
community, and there is
but
a
clearly
huge
you're a
amount of
very
them.
dedicated committee, because I know that when quite a number of weeks ago we had David, and we also had Mort called to the museum to basically let me know what was about to happen, and
Yes.
I can't get over how amazingly far beyond my expectations what I'm seeing here this weekend. It's incredible, and you have very, very prestigious speakers there.
We have great speakers here. That it's because of the weekend that it is, as in the O'Keeffe gathering. These speakers wanted to come in. They knew this was a big, prestigious weekend, and that the O'Keeffe name here in Duhallow is a big name in its own right, because it has huge, should I say, history attached to the area.
Even a Nobel Prize winner.
Yes,
There's the
John
Nobel
O'Keeffe.
Prize winner mentioned over here.
Yes, there is John O'Keeffe, and he himself originally, his roots are in Newmarket.
Dear goodness.
From Scartine Lower in Newmarket, and he has the accolade of being the Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he is a scientist, and it was all to do with the hypothalamus in the brain and how it functions and the cell functions. And in fairness, he is a pretty prestigious man in his own right.
Indeed, and one of the people present last night is a John O'Keeffe also, and he's involved, he's from America, and he's involved in the world of aviation and also in the world of research. I met him here last night, and he's from Mournabbey, but he's actually attending this weekend.
Oh, right. I didn't actually get to meet him myself, I must.
And when he saw John O'Keeffe here, he says he'll have to check to see if there's any relation to this John O'Keeffe.
That's actually what this weekend is about as well. Is there are a
The
lot of people
networking
here,
and the
networking,
linking, yeah.
and people are linking into each other to see, is there connections and are we connected? Even though they might be in America, and they're hoping to connect up, and it would be wonderful if people did connect up. And
of course, Patsy, tomorrow morning then at 12 noon you have a special mass that'll be celebrated here tomorrow, and I also believe that you're having a special little ceremony to our piper to remember 9/11.
We have indeed. We have, because of tomorrow is 9/11 anniversary, we have brought on board with us, and there is a lot of Americans here, and there was a lot of O'Keeffes involved in the first responders to that call, that emergency call that day, and we have decided to commemorate the anniversary, and we will have a lone piper coming in, and he will play a lament.
Yes.
And he
most likely Connie Houlihan.
It is Con Houlihan,
yeah.
and from the Cullen Pipe Band,
Yeah, indeed.
and he will play it just shortly before Mass. He is actually going to be here for that little ceremony.
Beautiful.
And it's nice.
My goodness. And it will conclude then about, of course, Lorna having her the talk then after that.
Yes, Lorna is coming on board then, the genealogist. She's starting her talk at 2 o'clock about the O'Keeffe Kashman. Now, the O'Keeffe Kashman is a huge collection. There's 16 volumes.
I know it.
And it's written by an Dr. Albert O'Keeffe. So he was a pathologist in America. And when he retired, he himself, all through his life, had a huge interest in the Irish genealogy because of his connections to the area. But he had the resources financially to put all of this together, and which he did. And this is what people here today are using as a vital resource.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is, yeah.
But she's going to make a presentation here tomorrow and release and reveal some of those secrets.
And we know them as the blue-covered books.
The blue navy coloured books.
Oh,
and Millstreet is a fantastic library. It has a full collection of it. And in fairness, it's actually a great library to go to for local history.
Yeah.
I have found it fantastic.
Well, indeed. Patsy, I must say, you are an amazing communicator. And as we began to speak, there were few here, but now there's a lot of extra people joining us here. And as time goes on, the hall fills. And thank you so much. And it's wonderful being involved.
Thank you, Sean, for being here this weekend.
Not at all.
And you're making this a wonderful weekend as well.
We're all part of a team.
Yes, it's called teamwork.
Great. Mila buekas. And again, congrats particularly on your national radio broadcast this morning. Came across so well, as this has come across so very well.
Thank you very much.
A professional to the T.
Thank you very much.
Mila buekas.